It is for your future recognition. This perception is just one mental state, but because it is division into past, present, future, and so on, it is called a perception aggregate, Sinyakanda. And the next aggregates, Sankarakanda, volitional formation aggregates. It is somewhat difficult to understand. According to Abhidhamma, there are 52 mental states. Feeling is one mental factor, perception is another mental factor, and the remaining 50 mental states are collectively called volitional formation aggregates. Because this group is headed by a mental factors called volition or chetana in Pali. The word formation is the translation of the Pali word sankara. Sankara can mean both producer and product. Something that produces other things is called sankara, and that which it produces or which is conditioned by it is also called sankara. So you need to understand in Bali, sankara has at least two meanings, the maker and that which is made. In the context of the volitional forms aggregates, it means maker. It makes something. Here we must understand the word sankara in its active sense. But in other contexts, in the Pali, sabbe sankara, nature, all sankharas are impermanent. That means all namarupa or all psychophysical processes are impermanent. So the word sankhara means all things, all namarupa are conditioned, all things that are made. So here the meaning is quite different from sankhara, meaning those that make. So here sankhara khanda, the 50 mental states are collectively called sankhara aggregates or volitional formation aggregates. In addition to volition or chetana sankhara, mindfulness is also sankhara. Mindfulness sati is also sankhara. Panya, understanding is sankhara. Loba, attachment is sankhara. Dosa, hatred is sankhara. Delusion, moha is sankhara. There are many sankharas. All of these are collectively called sankhara because they do something. For instance, when you see something, a kinds of mental activities that make seeing complete take place. These kinds of mental activities is called sankhara. The last aggregates is Vijnanakanda, consciousness aggregates. Consciousness is awareness of the object. Here you must understand in its technical sense. not as it is understood popularly. In Abhidhamma, consciousness means just a mere awareness of the object. It is always accompanied by feeling, perception, and other factors from the volitional formation aggregates. So these are the five aggregates: Rupa Khanda, Metta aggregates, Vedana Khanda, feeling aggregates, Sanya Khanda, perception aggregates, Sankhara Khanda, volitional formation aggregates, and Vijnana Khanda, consciousness aggregates. When they are objects of clinging, they are called aggregates of clinging, Upadanakanda in Pali. Aggregates subject to clinging or aggregates objects of clinging. Now you know the five aggregates and the five aggregates of clinging. Let us see now whether you can find the five aggregates by looking at something. When you see something, you're really mindful. What you capture. According to the instruction, you note seeing, 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 what you capture. When you see something, there is something to be seen. There is a visible object, and there are eyes. Your eyes clear. So your eyes through which the object is seen, and when you see there comes seeing. Seeing arises when the objects to be seen comes to the avenue of the eye sensitivity. So at that moment you capture seeing, seeing, seeing. So you capture a visible object, eye sensitivity, and seeing consciousness. So when you see, you note seeing, you really mindful and you capture these things, Rupa and Nama. So here you see how many aggregates. The things you see is meta aggregates, Rupa Khanda and consciousness aggregates. When you see something, it can be pleasurable. Sometimes you unlucky, not pleasurable. Sometimes just neutral. You might think it is good to see this object or it is not good to see it. So feeling is also involved when you see something. And whenever you see an object, the mind or a state of mind makes a mental mark of that object so it can be recognized when you experience it later. So perception also is involved in the act of your seeing. And they are mental state that exert to make some effort to see, to bring this seeing to completion. So there is object and you want to see, you make some effort to see, you can capture it. So during the practice, you intentionally note intention to get up, intention to see, intention to hear, not the sound you hear. If you want to hear, you hear. If you don't want to hear, you don't care. So you cannot hear the sound. So uh, there are mental states that makes some effort to see or to hear. So though it is very subtle, if you really mindful, if you really watch your mind, you will notice that there is some kinds of activities or exertion in your mind to see, there is some effort to hear, and so on. What it is? It is sankhara, volitional, formation, aggregates. So when yogi practice vipassana meditation, yogis find the 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates can be found in your own experience. In the experience of seeing, you can find all 5 aggregates. Don't forget, note, seeing, seeing, seeing. When you hear, don't forget to note hearing, 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 immediately and precisely. So 5 aggregates are present in the experience of hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching. There are many touch sensations in our body, and they can be detected by paying close attention to what is happening at the present moment. Here, a touch includes the feelings of heat. When we feel cold, that too is a touch. When we are aware of the rising and falling movements of the abdomen, those movements are touches. And if pressure is felt there, that also is the touch. In touching something, the 5 aggregates can be experienced in that touch. So when you practice sitting meditation, many touchings there, buttock touching the cushion, air touching the abdomen, many touches. So you need to pay attention to all the touches. All these 5 aggregates of mind and matter process are impermanent, suffering, and non-self. Buddha expounded these 5 aggregates are impermanent, suffering, and non-self in Pena Pendupama Sutta. So in the Pena Pendupama Sutta, Buddha said, Rupa is like froth. Pena Pendupaman Rupan. Metta is like froth, body is like froth. You can see floating. About in the creeks or waterways. These froths are made up of air bubbles entrapped in droplets of water. These droplets of water blown up by air bubbles congregate to form frothy scum the size of a human face, a human head, the size of a man, or even bigger. If you seek Casually, a big mass of froth may appear to be substantial, but when you carefully observe, it turns out to be insubstantial, useless for any purpose. In the same way, our human body, complete with head, body, hands, and feet, in male form, in female form, appears to be very substantial. Body seems permanent. It looks beautiful and good, seemingly a living entity. But when the body is subjected to mental analysis, it turns out to be just like the mass of froth, quite insubstantial, a mere conglomeration of 32 abominable constituent parts, namely hair, body hair, nails, toenails, teeth, skin, flesh, muscle, bone, etc. If you analyze further, body is found to be a conglomerate of minute subatomic particles invisible to the naked eyes. It may be likened to a big pile of sand made out of minute individual sand particles. Alternatively, we may take the example of rice flour or wheat flour consisting of minute individual grains of rice powder or wheat powder. When you soak with the right amount of water, the rice powder or wheat powder turns into dough, substantial mass, which can be quite big by using large amount of flour. This substantial dough can be shaped into the figure of a man of massive size, but not of one solid mass. It is made out of conglomeration of fine grains of rice or wheat powder. In the same way, our body is not one solid mass, but made out of small particles of matter massed together in one big heap, and it is just like the mass of froth, devoid of inner substance. Are there any permanent core, beautiful substance, or living entity in our body? No. In our body, there is no permanent core, no beautiful substance, no living entity called self. The visible material qualities form a part of the body. If you remove these visible qualities, and the body will become devoid of shape and form. But we do the other elements of extension forms that part of the body which is manifested in the sense of touch as rough, smooth, hard, or soft. Tejodadu, the elements of heat or cold. Vayodadu, the elements of motion, form the other parts of the body. If you remove these three elements and our human body, which can be touched and felt, will no longer exist. The material qualities are older, also forms a constituent parts of the body. So the human body can be sensed by its odor. If you take out that too, nothing will remain by which human body may be recognized or identified. We see things because we have the eye sensitivity, retina, the sensitive material qualities of eyes. Without retina, the body cannot see anything, just like a blind man. We also have sensitive qualities, material qualities of eardrums, which enable us to hear, and the sensitive qualities of nose, which enable us to recognize smell, and the sensitive material qualities of the body, with which we get the sensation of touch. All these small but useful constituent material qualities comes together to form a shape of a human body, wholly contributing to its utility. Without them, our human body will have no utilitarian value. As a matter of fact, without these constituent parts, the human form cannot come into existence. If these constituent parts are pulverized so as to make them fall apart, our human body will no longer exist. There will be only 5 particles of matter. Furthermore, these sensitive material qualities, such as eye sensitivity, visual objects, are not existing permanently and enduring. So when the yogis have very good concentration and mindfulness, they note seeing, seeing, seeing. A yogi captures the eye sensitivity or the objects, visible object, or seeing consciousness. So these eye sensitivity, visual objects are not existing permanently and enduring. Seeing keeps on arising and vanishing. The new coming into place of the old. Now yogi understand. This body is like a lump or mass of froth. It is just a conglomeration of substanceless material qualities because it's vanishing continuously. So when this body is to be subjected to careful examination and analysis, yogi should start from where phenomena manifest itself vividly. So the technique is very simple. When you walk, pay attention to the walking. When walking, you note walking, walking, walking. Then you can discover the material qualities of extension and motion becomes prominent. It is Buddha clearly mentioned, Gichandowa Gichamiti Pajanati. In the Masadipatthana Sutta, Buddha mentions, when going, yogi knows I'm going. So yogi should take note, going, going, or walking, walking. And the many stages, raising, pushing forward, dropping. Raising, pushing forward, dropping. So every step your concentration getting strengthened, and you can discover the true nature of the phenomena. So some yogi not really mindful, they don't mindful all the time. When standing, what you have to do? Titawa titomiti pajanati, Buddha says, when standing, yogi should note standing, standing. When you're sitting, you have to note sitting, sitting. Nisenowa, nisenomiti pajanati, according to the teaching. When you touch, you have to note touching, touching. Rising, falling is always there. Rising, falling, rising, falling. Don't forget to note. When you see the limbs, etc., you should note seeing, seeing, seeing. When you smell your body odors, you have to know smelling, smelling. As soon as the phenomena occur, you have to note immediately. When your limbs are moved and stretched, you have to know stretching, stretching, moving, moving, changing, changing. So this is very simple practice. You need to note carefully. You need to observe diligently. Continuously and meticulously, your concentration gets strengthened by carefully noting within few days, within few hours. But if you're not really mindful, your concentration cannot develop very quickly. So when your concentration getting strengthened, you realize that an act of going consists of wanting to go, desire to go, and the motion and expansion. That is namarupa or psychophysical process. What is standing? What you discover? What is sitting? Acts of standing and sitting are made of desire to stand or desire to sit, followed by a series of motion and expansion. In the same way with bending, stretching, changing postures, you observe carefully, so you can discover the namarupa or mind and matter process. In an act of seeing, there is eyes, consciousness or seeing consciousness, and visual object. In smelling, nose consciousness and odor, you can discover, and you see each phenomena arise for that moment, only to pass away immediately. That is when the yogis, meditators, have strong concentration and mindfulness. At that moment, the limbs, hands, and feet, the head, the shape of the body are no longer felt and recognized. These phenomena appear merely as a recurrent physical process, rising and passing away incessantly. At that stage, yogi comes to understand by himself or by herself how the body is like a mass of froth. So perceiving in this way, yogi realized that Rupa, this body is impermanent. This body is terrible suffering because of incessant rising and vanishing. This body is not safe because it is happening not as my wish, but according to its condition, not my own inner substance. This body is not manageable and not controllable. So there is reality of the phenomena. So Mahasi Sayadaw have this aphorism, Rupa, that means body is likened to froth. It is unstable, it is impermanent, it is constantly rising, vanishing, it is suffering, it is not safe. So need to remember Mahasi Sayadaw aphorism. Can you follow me? Rupa is likened to froth.
Rupa is likened to froth.
Follow me. Rupa is likened to froth.
Rupa is likened to froth.
It is unstable.
It is unstable.
It is impermanent.
It is impermanent.
It is constantly rising and vanishing.
It is constantly arising and vanishing.
It is suffering.
It is suffering.
It is not safe.
It is non-self.
Rupa is likened to froth.
Rupa is likened to froth.
It is unstable.
It is unstable.
It is impermanent.
It is impermanent.
It is constantly rising and vanishing.
It is constantly arising and vanishing.
It is suffering.
It is suffering.
It is not safe.
It is non-self.
So you can experience yourself if you practice real mindfully. And then we have to mention the Buddha acknowledgement from Michima Panasa Bodhi Raja Kumara Sutta. In this sutta, Buddha acknowledged that a yogi of sharp intelligence, wisdom, or understanding, that is Tekapinyanaya, that yogi can even become fully enlightened within a night or a day. So very encouraging. That means when a yogi who possesses the five factors of striving finds a Tathagata to discipline him, then being instructed in the evening, the yogi might arrive at distinction in the morning. And if he were instructed in the morning, he might arrive as distinction in the evening. So five factors of striving of Badaniyinga Dhamma in Pali. First, you must have faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, because these are the true teacher, true practice, and true practitioner. And you must have faith in your meditation teacher and the meditation method. That is number one, is faith. And number two, sufficient health to digest the food you eat. That means you must be healthy to practice. And number three, you must have enough honesty to state the facts of your experience to your teacher and fellow meditators without boasting about virtues that you are not endowed with or trying to conceal your shortcomings. So number three is you must be honest. And number four is the determination to persist in your efforts until you become fully enlightened. That means you must be very energetic to practice. And so you must put effort to practice, even if the result is that your flesh and blood wither away, leaving only skin, sinews, and bones. So that is number four qualities. And number fifth is arousing insight knowledge of the arising and passing way of psychophysical phenomena. That means you must see the true nature. Psychophysical phenomena, mind-body processes are arising and disappearing continuously. You must see. So yogi may be able to attain the knowledge of path and fruition and reach nirvana within 7 years or 7 days or even within one night or a day. So these words are not the words of an ordinary person, but of the Buddha, who understood by himself all phenomena as they really are. Because Buddha only said, what is true and beneficial, they are the words of the Sukata, as the Buddha was called. So all yogi may be endowed with faith and aspiration to become free from the cycle of suffering. So believe all Buddhas do not speak ambiguously. All Buddhas only speak what is true. The victorious ones do not speak fruitlessly. They only speak what is beneficial. If you have faith that the Buddha only speaks what is true and beneficial, and having faith in the two acknowledgement, then you should aspire like this. If I am a yogi with sharp intelligence, wisdom, and understanding, I will become fully enlightened even within one night or one day. That is very sharp intelligence yogi. The second one, if I am a yogi with middling intelligence, wisdom, and understanding, I will become fully enlightened within 7 days or within 15 days. Or if I'm a yogi with slow intelligence, wisdom, and understanding, I will become fully enlightened within 7 years. So, very encouraging. We should practice diligently. If the very intelligent yogi or middling intelligent and the slow intelligence yogi, three types. So here Master Sayadaw have aphorism. 5 factors yogi need to have, need to be endowed. Faith and health must be owned by you. You must have faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and teachers and practice. And you must be healthy. And the mind must then straight and true. You must be honest. Number four, you must strive hard, striving to know without pause and gaps. If there are many gaps to note, your concentration cannot be continuous, so take long. You must see and you must perceive the arising and disappearing nature, rising and passing away, you shall grasp. These five factors must be complete to reach the goal for which you seek. So this is Mahasi Sayadaw aphorism, Braninga Dhamma. Can you follow me? Faith and health must be owned by you.
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 The mind must then be straight and true.
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 Striving to note without pause and gaps.
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 Rising and passing away, you shall grasp.
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 These five factors must be complete
These five factors must be complete
to reach the goal for which you seek.
to reach the goal for which you seek.
These five factors must be complete
These five factors must be complete
to reach the goal for which you seek.
to reach the goal for which you seek.
So this is Buddha encouragement, Mahasi Sayadaw aphorism. You must have faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, true teacher, true practice, and true method. You must be healthy, you must be honest, you must strive uh, diligently without pause and gaps, and you must see, you must grasp, you must perceive the rising and passing away nature of the psychophysical process. So with this aspiration, yogi may be able to practice mindfulness and you can get a lot of benefits. So we will continue tomorrow. We have to stop our discourse for today. By practicing vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses, by noting, rising, falling, sitting, touching, hearing, bending, walking, continuously and meticulously, may all yogis be liberated from all suffering. May all yogis realize the real peace in the very near future.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
We have to recite Masatipatthana Odisha Pali.
Page 71.
Ekayano iyam bhikkhave mego sadanam visodiyam sogabari devanam samadegamaya dogadomanasana atingamaya nyayasa adigamaya Nivanasa Sajikiriyaya Yadidam Chattaro Sativatanam Kadame Chattaro Ida Bhikkhave Bhikkhu Kaye Kayanubasi Viharati Adabi Sambhajanam Satima Vineya Loke Abhijadomanasam Vedanasu Vedananubasi Viharati Adavi Sambhajanam Saddhima Vineya Loke Abhijadomanasam Chaite Chaitanubasi Viharati Adapi Sambhajanam Saddhima Vineya Loke Abhijadomanasam Dhammesu Dhammanubasi Viharati Adapi Sambhajanam Saddhima Vineya Loke Abhijadomanasam. English translation. This is the only way, bhikkhus, for the purifications of beings, for the overcoming of sorrow and lamentation, for the disappearance of pain and grief, for reaching the noble path, for the realizations of nirvana, namely the four foundations of mindfulness. What are the four? Here in this teaching, bhikkhus, a bhikkhu starts contemplating the body in the body, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. A bhikkhu starts contemplating the feeling, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. A bhikkhu starts contemplating the consciousness in the consciousness, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. A bhikkhu starts contemplating the Dhamma in the Dhamma, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. Honoring.
Page 74.
Imaya Dhamma nu Dhamma Patipatiyam Bodham Bujemi Imaya Dhamma nu Dhamma Patipatiyam Dhamma Bujemi Imaya Dhamma nu Dhamma Patipatiyam Sangham Bujemi Imaya Dhamma nu Dhamma Patipatiyam Mata Bitaram Ujemi Imaya Dhamma nu Dhamma Patipatiyam Acariye Ujemi Adaimaya Patibadaya Jaramaranama Parimojay Sami Idame Bonya Asawakaya Waham Hodu Idame Silam Megabalanyanasa Pacaya Imano Punya Bhagam Savasadanam Demam Sabe Sadam Sukida Om Du Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu